is Comic Thrill.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Comics Dad here again with another comics read-along. We have a good story for you again today. Given all the talk and all the rumblings, and given that the new Captain America movie, or the Captain Un-America movie, considering Anthony Mackie and the nonsense that he was talking about a little while back for his press tour for the movie. Given all that, I figured it was appropriate that we would read a Captain America book today, and this particular issue, the true heir apparent to Steve Rogers and the Shield, finally actually takes up the mantle and gets into action for the first time, under the identity of Captain America, and that is, of course, Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier. Like I said, this is the first issue showing Bucky actually as Cap. It's a good story. What's been going on up to this point is that Red Skull is back in action. He apparently has somehow mind melded with somebody else who owns a large corporation or runs a large corporation that impacts a lot of the country's economical parts, such as the oil industry, the housing industry, things like that. And chaos has been starting to be sown throughout the country because of it. And with Captain America out of commission, somebody needed to step in, and Steve had dying wishes that he shared with Tony Stark. He'd take care of Bucky, but also that he finds somebody to replace him as Captain America, somebody worthy of it. Definitely not Falcon. Falcon is a good character on his own. He doesn't need to become Captain America. And that movie coming out is probably going to bomb, just like when they tried to do it in the comics. It wasn't good either. Just leave Sam Wilson as Sam Wilson, leave him as Falcon. He's good as Falcon. Anyway, I digress. Tony Stark, who is the current director of S.H.I.E.L.D., as this all takes place after the events of Civil War, needs somebody to step in that can kind of cut past the red tape. And Bucky's only stipulation for stepping into the mantle of Captain America, or taking up the mantle of Captain America, is that he not be registered under the Superhero Registration Act. But that's a whole, we can get into Civil War another day. That's a whole large-scale event that changed the course of Marvel forever. But definitely highly recommend for anybody that wants to look into it more on their own. Without further ado, let's get into Captain America number 34, published in 2008, written by Ed Brubaker, penciled by Steve Epting, inked by Butch Guice, colored by Frank D'Armata, and lettered by Joe Carmagna. Captain America number 34. Look at that costume. It's neat. It's clean. It's got a bunch of black for Bucky. Bucky, Winter Soldier. History of doing a lot of covert spec ops type of stuff, assassinations and whatnot. So it's got that element of that covert special operations stuff for him, but also still the tried and true red, white, and blue. I like how the chest actually comes to a point at the bottom to be like the OG Captain America shield. That's nice. Wonderful cover. And good old stars and stripes in the background. Let's get into it. No, quick little blurb and synopsis of this run of Captain America so far, and a little info, a little summary leading into this issue. So let's read it. During the dark days of the early 1940s, a covert military experiment turned Steve Rogers into America's first super soldier, Captain America. Throughout the war, Cap and his partner Bucky fought alongside our infantry and with a group of heroes known as the Invaders. In the closing months of World War II, Captain America and Bucky were both presumed dead in an explosion over the English Channel. Decades later, a figure was found trapped in ice, and Captain America was revived. Having slept through more than half of the 20th century, Steve Rogers awakened to a world where he never imagined, a world where war had moved from the battlefield to the city streets. The Death of Captain America, Act 2, The Burden of Dreams, Part 4. It looks like that's some SHIELD agents doing some preliminary, I guess, work or readings on Bucky. But Captain America is dead. The Red Skull, with the help of megalomaniac psychiatrist Dr. Faustus, manipulated Sharon Carter, former Agent 13 of SHIELD, into taking the life of the man she loved. Cap's former partner Bucky has been seeking vengeance on the men he feels are responsible for the death of Steve Rogers. After escaping from the Red Skull with Sharon Carter's help, Bucky is immediately arrested by the Falcon and Black Widow and brought to Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. Now the director of SHIELD, Tony shows Bucky a letter that Steve Rogers wrote before his death, asking Iron Man to look after Bucky and to keep Captain America alive. Bucky agrees to don the costume of Captain America and go after the Red Skull. However, Alexander Lukin, the ex-Soviet general whose mind the Red Skull has secretly been sharing, appears to have died in a plane crash. It can all fall apart so quickly that we don't even realize it. How fragile this country, this society really is. People grow complacent or look the other way, while the things that hold us together erode or are sold off. And then it all comes crashing down. Shocking increases in worldwide oil prices in the wake of energy giant Cronus Corporation's loss of CEO Alexander Lukin have led to another disastrous day on Wall Street, with the Dow plunging to its lowest levels in 30 years. Quick insight, Cronus Corporation, that is this company that this financier, that this corporate executive, that summary blurb talked about that Red Skull is sharing a mind with. So essentially, Red Skull was in charge of this corporation known as Cronus. New Cronus CEO Vladimir Morovin has yet to make a public statement on their move to more than double the price per barrel, or on the decision of another arm of Cronus, Peggy Day Finance, which has announced it will foreclose on thousands of mortgages around the U.S. Our analyst, Matthew Fritchman, has the reaction to this move. Well, Tony, until there's some official explanation for Cronus's actions the past 2 days, all I can say is new CEO Morovin must hate the American people. While some of the homes being foreclosed on were part of the subprime lending scandal of earlier this year, most are simply homes of hardworking Americans who failed to read the fine print. And as we already saw last night, they're taking to the streets in protest. One thing is for sure, the U.S. economy is very suddenly on the brink, and for once its citizens are noticing. Now, it's just kind of funny, back in 2008, they were writing about this happening in a fictional time, obviously, of superheroes and whatnot, but the parallels to things that have been happening over the last 4 years are, it's almost a little on the nose, almost as if they were prophesying about, what we as not just an American society, but as a global society also have been, to some extent, going through over the last 4 years, from 2021 to now. Just a little food for thought. And in fact, last night's protests in New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. have resulted in hundreds of arrests, with police warning of escalation and possible rioting if something is not done. You ready to go, James? As much as I'll ever be, I guess. But I can't help noticing that even though I told Stark I wouldn't answer to him, the first time I'm needed, it's you that shows up, Natalia. I'm not giving you any orders. I'm just here to give you a ride and some help. Not to keep an eye on me for S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. has no record of your existence. Not anymore. Director Stark's deal with you was personal. He can't be seen to publicly advocate an unregistered hero. But here you are, an Avenger. How's he going to answer if that gets out? Ah, well, I'm the Black Widow. I live among shades of gray. Now, are you planning to finish suiting up, or are you having second thoughts? Hell, I'm way past second thoughts. But there's no turning back. No, there never is. But I was surprised to see you designing a new suit with Tony. I could never wear Steve's uniform. I'm not him, and I won't pretend I am. And we can make comparisons to the new Captain America movie all day long. As I mentioned in the intro to the video, and granted they're basing more off of the short stint that Falcon actually became Captain America for a while, but people didn't even like that. Bucky has always been the heir apparent for Captain America, in my mind and many people's minds. And this is the first time we're getting to see Bucky put on the Stars and Stripes. But that's exactly what it is, though. It's not about replacing Cap. It's about keeping a symbol there for the people. And Bucky says it right there. He's not Steve Rogers, and he's not pretending to be him. But Tony realizes, and Steve even realized, that the symbol of Captain America needs to be maintained. Yet you're trying to fulfill his last wishes. Strange. Just 'cause I'm not him doesn't mean I can't honor his memory. And Stark was right. I would never have let anyone else do this. That means you, Falcon. That means you, Anthony Mackie. Yes, I remember. And I hope you've been practicing with that shield since you stole it from me. But that gun on your hip tells me maybe not. Don't worry, I can handle the shield. My arm makes me one of the few who could, probably. So, why the weaponry then? I've always carried weapons, and now that I've painted a red, white, and blue target on myself, I'm guessing I'm gonna need them more than ever. Good point. Damn, look at that. They're out in force again tonight. The Red Skulls are really making a mess of things. I hope Stark is telling his higher-ups who they're really dealing with. Let's let Tony worry about the politicians. You and I have more immediate concerns. Oh God. I hope you don't expect me to address the protesters. No, lucky for you. Look at this. We received a tip that AIM and RAID were going after Wall Street's gold reserves, while the police are tied up with crowd control. So the Skull wants to hit the economy from all sides, until he's watching our cities burn. Apparently. He puts on the cowl. All right then. Let's go stop him. Our clock is ticking, people. You two, get those turbo walkers down here. Stat. Once we breach that wall, we have about 2 minutes until everything in a uniform or a mask gets here. And I want us long gone by then. Remember, the Red Skull rewards only those who... Hey, what's that? Boing! Somebody can use the shield. Sorry, I guess we're early. No evil Yahtzee rewards for you. Yeah, the costume on Bucky just looks cool. Looks cool. I like it. Who the hell? Take them! turbo walkers, open fire! Dud, 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 dud. Ugh. This isn't my usual kind of fight. Widow, cover me! We gotta take those things down! Not since the war, at least. Stop talking and just do it. Blah, 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 blah. Shoot him, damn you! Charging right in. Steve was always better at that. Of course, Steve was about 3 times stronger and faster than me, too. And Bucky holds his own, though. But it's not like I haven't fought whole hordes of bad guys in my day. I'm just more used to doing it covertly and taking out specific targets. Tactical hits designed to do the most harm with the least effort. And using the enemy's strengths against them. But those methods still work. No! They just need a little adapting. And for anyone who didn't pick up on that, we'll go back a couple panels. The two mechs or bots or battle suits, whatever you want to call them, he just had them blow each other up. Kablooey. The shield helps a lot. It slows them down. Ah! Blah, 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 blah. Looks like he's attaching a detonator, maybe? Puts a scare in them because they know who's supposed to carry it. Yep, that was a detonator. Kaboom! But they still have no idea who the hell I am. Mr. Secretary, I don't care what reports you've seen. The SHIELD helicarrier, currently hovering above Washington, D.C. I have reliable intel that the body found in that plane crash was not Alexander Lukin. I've been telling you people this for days, but it seems no one will hear me. Don't take a tone with me, Director Stark. This country is in the midst of a major crisis. So your unfounded allegations about dead men are going to have to wait until it's resolved. It won't be resolved unless you listen. Alexander Lukin is not dead, and it's likely that Vladimir Morovin doesn't really exist. What does that even mean? That this entire crisis is an orchestrated attack on the U.S. by the Cronus Corporation, because they're really being run by the Red Skull, somewhere in upstate New York. What news from your field squads in the city? Have they secured the gold reserves? They are not my squadrons, Ascal. I did not train them. I hope that isn't some form of passing blame for failure, Zola. Red Skull and Dr. Arnhem Zola. They have not reported in. This is all I know for now. Forgive me if I have other more pressing matters at hand. But you wanted the chamber ready, did you not? And the schematics for Faustus's contraption upgraded? Yes, so I did. It matters little. In any case, we've already knocked them to their knees. I merely want to keep them there until we strike the killing blow. And it's nearly time for Faustus to activate his first wave. You should come watch this with me, Zola. I think that you'll appreciate the irony of it. I am certain of that, Airskull. Have to admit, it feels weird to be wearing the flag. To be carrying Steve's shield. Fighting, that feels natural. But fighting for the bigger cause? It's been so long since I've had one of those. Hold him off. Keep him back. It does remind me of the war, though. Steve isn't leading the way up the battlefield. Yet I can almost feel him here. But he's guiding me now, instead of haunting me. And it looks like it ricochets way too high. I can't be him. Even Black Widow knows. She bad shot. Uh-oh. No one ever could. Captain America, huh? Yeah, right. But I can try to make him proud. Oh, Bucky with the sidearm. Blah, 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 blah. Steve wouldn't kneecap people like that, but this is Bucky we're talking about, so I'm okay with it. Expletive. Y'all can be creative and put your own vocabulary there. Actually, I did that on purpose. In my own way. Oh, and the shield gets that dude in the back. Well, I guess Bucky's been working on with the shield. Nicely done. You weren't trying too hard to help, I notice. Hey, this was meant to be your show, not mine. So what now? I'm calling in a cleanup crew now, so we can get back in the air. There's chaos all over this city, and in DC, and Chicago too, and it's likely to spread. Who knows where we'll be needed next? Damn it. We're 2 steps behind when we should be tracking him down. This is what he wants us to be doing. Meaning Red Skull. No, the Red Skull wanted another wave of economic fear to rip through the country. We just stopped that. And we'll keep at it. That's what Captain America does, remember? Yeah, I guess it is. That can't be true. That's an outrageous allegation. Look around you, Secretary. We've got near riot conditions in 4 major metropolises tonight. The stock market is hanging by a thread. I've even got SHIELD agents keeping a mob in check outside the White House. If someone hated us, if someone wanted to really cripple this country, isn't this what the first steps would look like? No, Cronus is just... they're playing hardball, trying to raise first quarter profits, or... How much have they donated to you and your friends? What? How dare you? Well, let's go back to that panel. Tony Stark asking the question that we all should be asking ourselves in today's day and age, too, about a lot of our current politicians. Especially when it comes to things like Big Pharma, defense contractors, things like that. How much have they donated to you and your friends? Before Marvel Comics went upside down and started preaching the quote-unquote message. pretty based people writing a lot of these books, even back in the early and mid 2000s, heading into the 2010s. So just keep that in mind, people. A little food for thought. What? How dare you? I know how corporations and politics work, Mr. Secretary. Director Stark. Not now. It's important, sir. We just got a fix on our missing agents. Their GPS tags all just went live. What? Where? They're in D.C., sir. In the crowd control unit. And in one of the previous issues, some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents had gone missing. And the crowd yelling, "Fascists, give us our country back! You people sold us out, sold our country!" All Washington ground units. This is Director Stark. We have rogue agents in the field. What's going on, Stark? All right, boys. It's time. And that is, for anyone who's unaware, that is Dr. Faustus, the one who manipulated and experimented on Sharon Carter to get her to kill Captain America, and he's got other things going on. He's working for Red Skull as well. Show them what the good doctor's training is for. It's time. It's time. It's time. No, move it. Get up on the roof. We want an extreme angle. Okay, Molly, just get into position. You're to subdue those agents by any means necessary. Tony knows something's about to go down. Director Stark, I demand to know what is happening. Director Stark! No. Well, everyone, there you have it. Bucky taking his first action as Captain America, doing some more covert operations, as you can see. Not necessarily one-on-one or not assassinations or things like that, like he's used to from his former life as the Winter Soldier, but he's still being pretty covert, at least for now. And he's got the Black Widow at his side. So, meanwhile, Red Skull is sowing chaos throughout the country with corporations, and it seems like there may be at least one politician that might be in the pocket. So even though this was written in 2007, 2008, a lot of this definitely kind of holds true to things that we've experienced over the last 4 years and even into today as well. It's very eerie, as I discussed while I was reading the book for you all. But Bucky so far is doing pretty decently, standing in for Cap. Anybody that's interested in seeing how it goes, there's ways you can go about it. Obviously, you can try to get the books digitally, or you can go the way that I prefer. Even though I'm doing the books digitally for you guys for the channel, I'm still inclined myself to go to one of my local comic shops and try to pick up some back issues of this volume. This was the Captain America series from 2004 to 2011. So I encourage everybody, if you're liking it, to go out and get them on your own. Also, for everybody, if you've liked today's video, please hit like and also subscribe to the channel. You could check out our other comics read-along videos as well. We're starting to fill out our library a little more as time goes by. We also have the gaming live streams you can go back and watch. Turn on notifications for the channel. Also follow me on X. You can get new notices anytime I drop videos or I'm going to be going live. And I thank you all for supporting the channel. Also, don't forget to support your local comic shops. And until we meet again, you all take care of yourself. This is Comics Dad signing off.
Thanks for joining, hope you had fun with Comics Dad. Today's adventure is done, but don't worry, we'll meet again with new tales to share, my friend.